Welcome to Channel Edge, the podcast where channel leaders share success strategies, best practices, and emerging trends. Brought to you by 360 Insights, the channel success platform.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Channel Edge, 360 Insights View into Everything channel. I'm your host, Stephen Keller, and we're going to be digging into automation again today. I know recently we did one with Jay McBain from Forrester, and went deep into what automation means across many aspects in the ecosystem, not just incentive automation where we live at 360. We talked about TCMA, we talked about PRM, we talked about automation in general. Today, we're going to dig deeper into something 360 has done, and we're going to talk about incentive automation, something called IA, which is a term that was created by our own Claudio Ayub. So joining us today is Claudio to talk about that and to talk about 360's impending launch of the 360 TECHCLOUD. So, Claudio, welcome.
Hey, everyone. How are you? Thank you, Stephen, for having me over. As most of you know, my name is Claudio Ayub, and I am the SVP of the TMT practice here at 360 Insights. The 360 Insights TMT practice is, a group that is thought for advice, for counsel on all things incentive automation. IA, right? And so we're here to introduce really the new 360 TECHCLOUD, a project of ours that is taking quite a bit to complete.
So why don't we start with what is the 360 TECHCLOUD? I think that's a good place to start.
Yep. So the 360 TECHCLOUD, Stephen, is the first truly dedicated incentive automation cloud out there. Okay. This cloud has been specifically built for technology, media, and telecommunication companies, TMT in short, right? And it's a very flexible incentive automation cloud comprising multiple incentive apps that are really seamlessly bound to address a technology brand's needs in a way that individual components cannot really deliver on their own, right? It's really a purpose-built incentive automation cloud, bringing together industry-specific data models and pre-built business processes into a single behavior-based incentive strategy that is designed to accelerate partners' time to revenue and increase loyalty.
So why is that so important today, right? Why is IA and the TECHCLOUD idea in general, why is it so important today?
Well, because, we've talked about this before, right? Partner ecosystems are imperative to helping companies scale and become customer obsessed. That's why an incentives automation cloud makes sense today. And I say that because, we talk to a lot of partners, and partners today, even today, are still hampered by archaic systems that are fragmented, difficult to navigate, and really impossible to engage on your mobile device, right? And that limits building partner loyalty. That limits engagement in a big, big way. So this new industry-specific solution, right, this dedicated cloud for the technology marketplace out there, makes it easier than ever for partners to engage with these vendors or brands and accelerate their productivity because these are very smart solutions, really different.
And that was going to be my next question. How is the 360 TECHCLOUD different from anything else out there?
Well, it's a platform, that really goes beyond automating the incentive process, right? It's a platform that allows you to really replicate your partner ecosystems, no matter how many of them are converging around the customer. And it allows you to build specific programs and promotions for those unique partner types. Talk about an MSP partner, right? They're going to have some very different needs when it comes to incentives than a reseller partner. That's a big, big gap. So that's why this is really critical today. In the way the 360 TECHCLOUD is different is that it understands this, and therefore it can actually build multiple, types of engagement, right? Multiple program types in multiple languages and multiple currency, to address the needs of all of your different partner ecosystems.
So who does this really work for, Claudio? And we have all kinds of listeners here, right? Almost everyone is in the OEM space and different verticals, but a lot in tech. We have some people that are on spreadsheets. We have some people that have just launched some sort of automation. And we have people that that have been doing this for 20 years. And they just got it nailed, right? So as you kind of look across those three categories, what's in it for each one of them?
Yeah. So, the first thing is that you can no longer do this in a siloed basis, right? You can no longer do it manually. And what's in it for them really is the ability to be able to run global, programs for partners, right? And I say that because, again, in the ecosystems and multiple ecosystems, you're going to need to treat them all different. And so, in a siloed approach no longer works. A manual approach is going to be nearly impossible. You're going to have now 80, 90 different types of promotions being exposed to multiple partner ecosystem, converging around a single customer.
So assuming that, someone's been doing this for a while and they're looking for, okay, what's that next level? To me, I still go back to, I think people are still looking for a competitive advantage. If we took this all the way down to like the base level, why do you run incentives? Why are you even messing around with the channel, right? You're looking for a competitive advantage to get your product to market. And from my perspective, I still think the competitive advantage, there's still a great opportunity in automation because either people aren't doing it, their competitors aren't doing it, or they haven't figured out how to do it exceptionally well and pull it all out of those silos, like you said.
Absolutely. And that is why, because, most vendors or brands out there are currently running, I don't want to call them one size fits all because people have moved on from one size fits all. But, most vendors out there are on a 3-tier type of a program, right? Where the offer is a little bit different for each tier. And, the better the tier, the higher the incentives. But that really is a Me Too program. What makes you, win over your competition without, overspending them, right, is your ability to deliver now 10 times those simple 3 levels of segmentation, right, and go personal one-on-one with each partner type, each partner persona. That creates that competitive advantage that you're talking about.
Right, absolutely. So another piece I wanted to bring up today is there's been a lot of conversation. I had this with Jay McBain a couple of weeks ago around ecosystem management, or I like the term ecosystem orchestration. I think it sings a lot better.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about ecosystem orchestration and how the 360 Tech Cloud fits into that, or just in general, just start with ecosystem orchestration. I think it's a term people are going to have to start getting used to.
Yep. So let's go down the numbers, right? So you're looking at about 4 regions in, around the world. You may have a 5th, right, which is emerging markets. But you're looking at basically 4 regions. You're looking at basically 5 partner types, right, at a minimum, right? And so the term orchestration means that now that you have an ecosystem, as opposed to just a group of partners that you're playing with, now you're going to have 10 times the number of partners engaged in your program. You can no longer do that in silos. We talked about that. You can no longer, do this manually. You have to orchestrate it, right? You have to have, in our case, an incentive cloud that provides that ability for you to replicate your entire partner ecosystem, right? And understand the partner personas and be able to segment them accordingly. And more importantly, be able to track, measure, and report on activities, behaviors, and transactions, right? All at the same time for those unique, specific partner types, partner go-to-market, and partner persona. We've done some analysis, and your average program comes back with over 100 different iterations 100 different experiences. And so you're going to need to orchestrate that, or it's going to be very hard for you to deliver your message and gain that competitive advantage. So the tech cloud, with its pre-built data model, processes, and API books, right, really empower brands to do just that, orchestrate their partner engagement, and the biggest drivers behind partner engagement, all of those incentives.
What are some of the other players that are out there that fit into that ecosystem orchestration? Because I know we're the IA, we're in the incentive automation, but there's a lot of other players that everyone has to play nice in that ecosystem orchestration to get to maximize the value of all that engagement, all that data, right?
Yep. So, your typical ones are going to be PRM, right? The door into the kingdom, if you will. TCMA is absolutely going to be there. TCMA is absolutely going to be there because that empowers, partners to generate their own demand. Is one of the most used marketing automation tools. There's definitely CDM, the ability to manage channel data as part of that ecosystem, right? Incentive management, for sure. Learning management systems, definitely. But that's the brilliance behind the 360 Tech Cloud, right? We've now aligned all of the different incentive types, talk about MDF, co-op on the front end, point-based rewards, points programs, right, of all types, spiffs, and then back-end rebates. We now have the ability to add STAs to the front end or CPQ in that particular cloud. And it's not really an incentive business within the ecosystem, right? But it's where the data resides, and therefore empowers those vendors that use this industry specific clouds to do things that other brands really can't. Giving you again a competitive edge, right?
Oh, yeah, it goes back to competitive edge. Absolutely. It's interesting. Jay McBain, in the interview a couple of weeks ago, also said that of all the automation that's going on, that incentive automation was the number one automation that was happening. And to me, based on what you said, that has a lot to do with all those other, I'd say, individual of those modules, PRM, TCMA. Incentive plays a big role in helping make them successful. Yes.
Absolutely. And you may have, you may say that I have a bias, but having done the analysis of the overall channel marketing spend, it is my belief that we spend about 80% of that channel marketing spend, it's spent on incentives. Mind you, it may come, from sales, right? It might be budgeted on a contra basis or an OPEX basis, but about 80% of channel marketing spend typically is made in incentive. That in North America alone is over $70 billion of channel incentive spend. That's very important, really. And we talked to a lot of channel chiefs, and they all very quickly realize, that 80% of their spend, 70% of their spend is channel incentive. So being able to orchestrate that effectively and efficiently, very, very important.
So how would you rate where we are today in the space? And, it's not just technology. I think you would probably agree that technology, HVAC, manufacturing, pretty much B2B, they're all facing the same challenges. How would you rate where we are today across any of those verticals or all those verticals from an orchestration perspective? And then you get to say what you think the future is going to look like. So where are we today, and what does it look like in 12 or 24 months?
Wow. So where are we today? And if you have different verticals, right? If you look at the technology, media, and telecom sector, if you look at the manufacturing sector, if you look at the automotive sector, right? They all have unique and specific needs that are different from one another. But in my view, it is the technology sector really which are the ones further out there in incentive automation, in applying technology, right, to their partner engagement strategies in a way that really make it easy for a partner to engage with, that particular vendor, right? And it's very rewarding. for that partner. That is to say, hey, my incentives are right here. They're right in front of me. They're very easy. So I believe that other industries, manufacturing industry, do look and benchmark against the technology sector when it comes to partner ecosystems. Okay, and maybe in the technology sector, we are in, ecosystem orchestration, and maybe the manufacturing systems, segment is really just beginning to look at, their partner groups and their partner programs, right? But they benchmark of one another. So we're in a very far out place, if you will, in terms of application of technology to solve business problems here. But I see the manufacturing sector really coming up in a number of fronts where, their go-to-market in their largest markets are getting really, really complex. And they realize the need to have to orchestrate all of their engagement and incentive management programs. So definitely, I would put the technology sector first, manufacturing second. Automotive comes right, after that, and then obviously is the healthcare sector, which is another really important sector for partner engagement.
So, in 18 months, is ecosystem orchestration and IA just standard terminology, and everybody's just rolling with it?
Right. And I have to say that artificial intelligence is going to have a really big impact in incentive automation, right? If you look at your programs today, say MDF, right, where we're letting partners come in and submit a campaign for approval, right? And we're going through a manual process of approving that and then letting the partner execute. And once it's executed, again, we're letting that partner, go through a claim process that it's manual on the back end. 24 months from now, you're going to have learning algorithms and AI, solutions that are going to be looking at these, campaign funding requests coming in and, looking at the historical performance of that individual partner, automatically approve or deny or go pending on that campaign funding request. That's real process automation, right? That is going to really improve the partner experiences. Think about this. You submit that campaign funding request, and now AI makes that decision, and instantly you're approved or not. Same is true with claims. I mean, that sounds like a dream today, doesn't it?
Claudio, you should write a white paper on AI to IA.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great idea. I'm going to go pick that up. Let me give you another example that I was talking to a prospect this.
Wait, hold on a second. I got to before you even go any further, just to let the audience know, Claudio is writing a white paper on AI to IA, and it will be released about a week after this podcast. So make sure everyone checks that one out.
Thanks for the plug-in. So I was talking about, 24 months from now, what happens, right? And I was talking to a prospect customer, and I said, well, with the new 360 TECHCLOUD, specifically in the back-end rebates module, you're going to have the ability, to empower each one of those regional managers around the world, right, to actually configure their own rebate promotions and get the forecasted output of those rebate programs right there for a global manager to actually review and approve the launch of those specific rebate programs. So think about that, right? Think about having the ability to forecast spend and partner performance. I mean, that's really, really powerful, right? And obviously measure effectiveness, right? But these tools are already in alpha and beta testing today and will be.
I was going to ask you about that. I actually believe that there is someone, and I may not be able to name who they are, and you've been involved with rolling out of this platform with ecosystem orchestration and with all the incentives in one place, with all the tiling necessary. I sound like I've seen it before, right? I actually have seen it. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that process you went through and the fact that there is a major Fortune 500 company rolling this out and working in this environment right now.
Right. And what we're talking about here is an entirely different engagement model, right? Where through a very modern UX layer, right, we're able to expose to different partner types and different partner personas in different parts of the world, in different currencies, right? We're able to consolidate all of their incentive engagement into one single dashboard. This is with a pretty big technology company.
I was gonna let you go there, Claudio. I was just gonna let you go there.
All right, that has been around for a number of years, and they needed to transform their partner engagement strategy. And using the 360 TECHCLOUD with this additional 360 UX layer, are able to deliver a very, very unique, very focused, very easy to engage with and dedicated partner experience where everything, again, for that partner is in that one dashboard.
Okay, Claudio, if you were going to leave our audience with one main thought today, what would that be?
Incentive automation. It's really about, making it easier for partners the way you're going to increase their loyalty. In other words, decrease how do we see that? I got to find the right word here.
Friction?
Decrease friction and increase loyalty. There you go. That's a good one. Decrease friction to increase loyalty.
I totally agree. And once again, having been a partner in my previous life, I absolutely agree. If you can decrease my friction, you are going to increase my loyalty. So Claudio, thank you. Really appreciate you spending some time with the audience walking through this. I know everybody in the tech space knows you, but there are listeners who aren't in the tech space. What's the best way for people to get connected with you?
Go to 360insights.com. There is a number of channels that you can engage with the TMT practice and all of us at 360. So please, 360.
And LinkedIn, obviously. And if they're not linked in with you, they should definitely get linked in with you.
Yep, for sure.
Okay. All right, Claudio, thank you so much for joining us today. Audience, thank you for joining us. We really would appreciate any feedback. If you would like to, please email us at 360 Channel Edge, 360insights@channeledge.com, and let us know what you think. We really appreciate it. We love you guys' feedback. Please, if you like this series, share it with your friends, share it with your coworkers, and download it wherever you get your great content, whether it's Stitcher or Apple, wherever you find your great content. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Channel Edge, brought to you by 360 Insights, the channel success platform. Subscribe now on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play, and you'll always be the first to access new episodes where channel leaders share success strategies, best practices, and emerging trends. For bookings, feedback, questions, or comments, feel free to email us at channeledge@360insights.com.